Hello and welcome to the Year 11 College Applications video. As the students start to think about what they're going to do once they leave Bassingbourn, they need to be aware that the government recommendation is that all students in Year 11 must stay on in either education, employment or training until they are 18. There's a range of different options that they have for this, including the full-time education traditional course. There's an apprenticeship route that they can take, or they can be doing some part-time education or training as long as they're employed for more than 20 hours a week. The different pathways that can be taken include going to sixth form, going to a further education college, working their way through the different levels of apprenticeships, or just starting a job straight away. As you can see from this diagram, you don't have to stay on one pathway all the way through until you get your job, your career, and all the different pathways will take you off to university, and they will all hopefully lead to a successful career for all the students. Throughout this video and throughout your research that will happen for your through the prospectuses, open evenings, the event next week where you can come and talk to the different colleges, you will hear about different qualifications. I'm just going to run through what the different qualifications mean. And as you can see from there, they all lead on to a next level and off to university or apprenticeships, but further into work. So our A-levels are the very traditional route that people tend to take. They tend to be academic and they tend to have an exam at the end. The IB, that is a range of 6 courses that students take to make sure that there is a wide range of understanding and wide range of subjects within them. And they do 3 at higher level and 3 at standard level. We have vocational courses, technical and vocational ones, which are the more skills-based subjects. Students will do 1 of those, and they're for students who know basically what they want to go off and do. T-levels is situated between the 2 in the table because that is realistically what T-levels are. T-levels are a combination between the technical courses and the A-level courses. So you'd spend 80% of your time in a classroom, but 20% of your time with employers doing work-related skills training to ensure that you're ready for the workplace. As I've already said, there's only one place in Cambridgeshire that is going to be running a T-level this year. But if it's something that a student is interested in terms of they don't want to purely do A-levels, they don't want to purely do a vocational course, it's something to look at. The applied courses are more like the BTEC and the VCERT courses that students have done during their time at Bassingbourn. So they don't generally have an exam at the end, but it's more ongoing coursework over the 2 years that the course runs. Traineeships are for students who haven't quite got the qualifications to get onto an apprenticeship, but will lead them in that direction. So it's work-based learning. Same with a supported internship. And then we've got apprenticeships, which are basically you earn whilst you're learning, and you spend about 80% in the workplace and 20% in college doing the theory. So we support our students going off to do a range of different courses, range of different destinations. The only things that limit where we will support our students going to is either transport or grade profiles. And I'll talk about grade profiles more later on in the video. So you can see from this diagram where students have gone in recent years, you can see those more traditional routes of Hills Road, Long Road, Comberton, the Oaks, but you can also see those more vocational places like Stage Right Performing Arts, the Fashion Retail College, the Equine College. And as I say, we will support our students with wherever they want to go to. And I'd ask the students that if they are thinking of something outside of the traditional routes, to come and speak to me so that we can ensure that applications are made in a timely and accurate fashion. So we have a general guide here for entry requirements, just to give you a little bit of an overview in terms of what the different style of courses may be looking for. So we have A-level courses, which are generally requiring a range of GCSEs, including English and maths. There will be specific subjects that are required to progress through to being able to do them at A-level and IB. And the colleges will generally ask for a grade 6 in those subjects. T-levels, as I've mentioned, there's only one at the moment in Cambridgeshire. And that's based at a science college. So therefore, whilst we've got here that there's a minimum of 5 grade 4 GCSEs, including maths and English, their specific requirements are going to include science grades as well. The applied general courses are, you generally need less GCSEs to get on them, but you're still looking at your grade 4 or above, and you are looking for mainly English and maths in there. There can be a little bit of leeway, but students should be aiming to get both their English and maths at grade 4 or above. We've got our technical vocational courses. Because they are skills-based courses, there is both an academic ability expected, and also they will do skills tests to work out which level of course to start off on. So there's a wide range of different grade profiles for those courses. And I've left the GCSE one on there just because if a student is thinking that they want to resit their GCSEs, they need to be aware that actually they are going to need to get grades in certain subjects to be able to get onto a GCSE resit course. If that is something that a student is interested in, again, they do need to come and speak to me so that we can talk about what's expected. So there are 10 post-16 centres in Cambridgeshire, and we're really lucky in terms of having so many, and also having such a wide range of courses that are available. So CRC is more vocational courses. College of West Anglia are animal-based and land-based courses. Comberton offer a range of A-levels and applied courses, as do Bishop's Laney, which is up in Ely. Hills Road is purely A-levels. Impington are an IB course college. Long Road offer A-levels and applied courses. The Oaks is also A-levels and applied. Parkside is IB, and Cambridge Academy for Science and Technology is mainly science-based courses. Anybody who's wanting to apply to those particular centres will apply through an online system called My Choice at 16. Students are going to be issued with their passwords and usernames, and will be able to get on with those applications as time goes on. If a student is looking to apply to somewhere else, they need to come and see me so that we can make sure that the application is done accurately, that I have the information that I need, and that the students have the information that they need. So this slide just tells you what I've just said in terms of where you can study and the different types of courses. Students by now will know the sort of style of course that they like, so that will help guide you in terms of the colleges that would be most suitable. So I'm going to talk now about the minimum A-level profiles that students are going to need to get to the college and to different colleges. I have to be really clear here that these are the profiles that are needed to get a conversation with the college, that to be able to have a guidance meeting. It will not necessarily get a student onto a specific course. Specific courses do have specific entry requirements, and students need to be aware of what they are by using the prospectuses, checking out online, to make sure that they are qualified for those courses. So, Bishop's Laney, 5 GCSEs at grade 4 or above, including English and Maths. That will depend on whether you're doing the A-level courses or whether you're doing the vocational courses. You will need to have grades 5 or 6 in your chosen subject if you're doing A-levels. CAST, 7 GCSEs at grade 4 and above. And because they are a science-based college, they're going to look for science grades. They're going to look for the maths grade, and they're expecting an English grade there as well. Competent are going to look for 5 grade 5, and English and maths have to be at grade 4 or above. However, for every subject that you want to do at A-level, if you've done it at GCSE, you're going to need to have a grade 6 in it. So don't get confused by that grade profile of five grades, grade 5s. There are subject-specific criteria as well. Hills Road work in a different way to everybody else in terms of they don't ask for a specific number of grades. They have their own entry admissions score, which is calculated by 2 times their English language, 2 times their math score, and 6 times, no, sorry, not 6 times, 6 of their best next subjects. I will put the calculator into Google Classrooms for students who might want to try and work out their minimum entry admission score. The one there is 58, which is the basic one. There is also admission scores for if you want to study maths, if you want to study sciences, or if you want to study for A-levels. So there are different levels to the minimum entry admission score for Hills Road. I will advise the students about order of preference to ensure that we get as many guidance meetings as possible. If you are applying to Hills Road, you will need to put them as either your first choice or second choice behind a sixth form that's attached to a school. So, for example, if you put Long Road and then Hills Road, you would not get a guidance meeting at Hills Road. But if you put Comberton and then Hills Road, you would. Okay, because Comberton is attached to a school. We then get Long Road. And Long Road, to do A-levels, you generally need 7 GCSEs 4 and above, including English and Maths. Again, you're going to need at least grade 5, but it's mainly grade 6s in relevant GCSEs to study the A-level subjects. If you're looking at the more general course, the applied courses, that's 5 GCSEs, mainly including English or Maths, but preferably both. But again, there are specific subject requirements. And the Oaks is very similar to Long Road in terms of 7 grades 4 and above, including English and Maths, to be able to do their A-level courses. And grade 6, again, is advised to carry on from GCSE. For IB, because they're looking at a wide range of different subjects that you're going to do, again, they're looking for 7 GCSEs, grade 5 or above. The subjects that you want to do for The higher level, you will be expected to get a grade 6 in, and then Parkside is 5 GCSEs. But similarly, they're going to look for a grade 6 in those subjects that you want to do the higher level subjects in. I'm not going to go through this next slide in great detail, but these are the vocational courses that are on offer across Cambridgeshire. And you can see there's a wide range of them that students can choose from. And there are some more at some of the other sixth forms as well. As I said, these vocational courses are more coursework based, and if a student is interested in that way of teaching, the vocational courses maybe what to look for. So we then move on to employment options, because of sixth form is not for everybody. So as I mentioned before, we have the traineeship for those people who don't quite have the qualifications to do an apprenticeship, but they want to be earning whilst they're learning. With employment with training, and then we have the apprenticeship. Now, the key bit about the apprenticeship is that there is an employer involved. If students need help finding an employer, please let me know. But CRC, who is our major apprenticeships hub, will also be able to assist with that. At the event next week, there will be somebody from the apprenticeships partnership there, so CRC will be bringing their apprenticeships team with them. So apprenticeships are available to everybody. It is not something just for low ability students. It's not something just for high ability students. They're available to everybody at a range of different levels, and you earn whilst you learn. They are run through a range of different training providers. Some employers run their own, whilst others, I say, are based at a CRC for their training aspect of it. The two websites that are linked there, so Euthoria is a Cambridgeshire-based website, and it's got a lot of information about careers, support, basically anything that a Cambridgeshire youth might want to be aware of can be found on Euthoria. And then there's the government website where you can search for apprenticeships. I did a search this morning and found over 40 within a 10-mile radius of Bassingbourn. And the different types of apprenticeships you can have are listed there. Those are ones that I found on the site this morning. So pharmacy assistant, optical assistant, catering, admin, paralegal, dentist assistant, mechanics, sport, a whole range of different ones that are available. In fact, you can probably get an apprenticeship in virtually anything these days. You just need to find an employer who's willing to give one. So there are different levels to apprenticeships. The ones that our students will be looking at are the intermediate, for those students who haven't achieved their grade 4 at English and maths. And the advanced one, which is if you have got your English and maths at grade 4 and above. That 40 that I mentioned on the previous slide was split about half and half. So there are apprenticeships of these levels around in the area that students can do. Students who are interested in apprenticeships do need to come and speak to me so that I can ensure that they have got the right information, they've got assistance with getting a placement, and they know what their backup plan is in case that placement falls through. So students will apply online to all the Cambridgeshire institutions. It will be done in PSHE, mentor time, and at home, because we are asking for your support in this to help the students make their choices, not least because there will be some choices that need to be made by things that are affected by the home environment, such as being able to get to the college that you're considering. There will be personal statements that need to be completed. These are about a side of A4 where the students are realistically telling the colleges all about them. As parents, you can be really helpful with that because you know your child. You know what things they've done. You know what they're good at. And you can be a listening ear for them as they work through those personal statements. Again, they'll be doing those in PSHE. They'll be doing them in mentor time. But we would recommend that as many people read them and look at them and support the students with them as possible. Students will be able to use My Choice 16 to research courses and the different institutions. Also recommend using the college's own websites to do so, and the prospectuses that the students will be given. And also we have an event next week, as I already mentioned, where we will have all the sixth form colleges from Cambridgeshire at the school, and you're going to be able to go around and ask questions. The deadline for the completed application is the 9th of December. So it is a process that's going to happen this term. And there will be a letter home so that you as parents can see what the students have applied for, to check that those conversations have happened, so that nobody is applying for a college that they can't get to. And that letter will need to be returned to me by the 14th of December. That's because the application process, the deadline that you will see in prospectuses and you'll see on the college websites, is just after Christmas. And we will check every single application before we send it off. So we've left our date as long as we can possibly do so that students have the most amount of time to be making their decisions, but we've still had to factor in a checking time into that as well. I would absolutely plead with you to ensure that those deadlines are met so that we can ensure that the applications themselves get sent off by the final date that we have to have them there by. So how many applications can the students make? We would advise that if they are qualified for 2 or more applications, they should make 2 or more applications, because we don't know what's going to happen. We absolutely don't know whether the colleges are going to still be able to offer all the courses that they're currently saying that they're doing. You might move house. There might be a massive falling out between friends, and students don't want to go to the same college as other people. So we advise everybody to do at least 2 applications, so they've got a first choice and a backup. The way that the system works is that all the applications are sent off at the same time. The students do have to have an order of preference on their application to be able to help the sixth form colleges in terms of working out who they're going to offer guidance meetings to, so that they can work out who's likely to be going to them and who's not, so they can do their timetable planning. We've said that the students won't be allowed to apply to more than 3 centres. That's purely because I feel that if it's more than 3 centres, students haven't really thought exactly about what they want to do. So we generally say 2 or 3 places for them to apply to. So the process will be that they apply, and then they will hear back from the different colleges. I have to stress at this point that each of the colleges act in a different way in terms of how they will respond, how they have different entry criteria, and they will make their own decisions about which students have guidance meetings with them. So the sixth form colleges have absolutely retained their individuality in this whole process. So I will advise the students what is expected for each one after they've made their applications. However, I would advise having a read of the prospectuses, have a read of their admissions criteria on their websites, so that you're aware as well of what the different colleges will do. The colleges will then start making offers. And again, this is a point of which where they retain individuality. Some will make the offer at the guidance meeting. Some will wait a few weeks afterwards so that they can have had all of their guidance meetings, so they can ensure that they know what courses they are able to offer and what they're not. They will be due to the centre's own criteria. So please do make sure that you and the students are aware of the criteria, so that you're not suddenly disappointed because your grade profile doesn't match. And those who apply by the deadline, so basically those people who get their applications in by Christmas, will generally hear by Easter. There is a little bit of a caveat on that in terms of some of the vocational courses, because they have to do skills tests. They may not hear back from those courses until after Easter. So again, the colleges have their own guidelines about what they're expecting from each of the students in terms of how they then respond. But they will be given instructions when they're made the offer. They will be given instructions of exactly how the sixth form is expecting them to give them their answer. You can hold more than one offer at a different centre until the results are out until August. That is the absolute beauty of this this application course profile, is because you don't actually have to make your final decision until you have your final results in your hands. So my advice at this stage, when we get to the responding to offers stage, is not to turn anything down. Accept everything and then make the final decision in the summer. Because as we all know, a lot can change in a very short period of time. So we need to be making the decisions at the right time. Each of the different colleges will say how they want those final sets of results given to them. But I will say that the vast majority of enrollment days happen within the days after results day, the very first few days after results day. I would not advise being on holiday on the published results day. And keep an eye out for when the actual results day is, because that might change. We will publish that as soon as we know it for absolute fact. So please don't be away on results day, because if students don't quite get what they need, they'll need to talk to the colleges. And also enrollment days happen. And if students aren't available for those enrollment days, there is the chance that colleges will withdraw their offer. So, as I've already mentioned, things to take into account as you're making your decision of what courses to go on to, which colleges to go on to. But one of the key things is whether you can actually get to the college or not. Certain colleges, such as CRC and Comberton, put on set buses that have a range of routes. So both Comberton and CRC pick up from Bassingbourn, but also Royston and areas like that. whereas other colleges will expect you to make your entire journey to them. The financial support, though, is available, but only for meeting certain criteria from Cambridgeshire. I've put the link there that takes you to the post-16 education transport section. If you feel that this is something that might apply to you, I would advise reading the booklet that is published on that website. Maths and English. I mentioned this earlier on when we were talking about the grade profiles. It's really important that the students get their maths and English grades, grade 4 or above. It will help them with later life, but also it will help them avoid having to retake it. This is a government expectation that if students achieve a grade 3 in either English or maths, they will need to retake it at their colleges or at their place of employment. They will need to be retaking it. If they achieve below a 3, it is likely that the college that they attend will put on a stepping stone qualification to help them then reach the grade 4 in GCSE. But there may be, if there are certain students with learning difficulties or disabilities, may be exempt from those 2 statements, but they will still need to study some maths and or English to ensure that they have the relevant skills to be able to progress further on. So what next? So we've got this event on Wednesday where we're going to have the colleges come in. They're going to be based in stands in the main hall and in the prom and in rooms 1, 2, and 3. We're going to stagger the timings of people arriving so that we can ensure that there's a nice flow of people going through, that people have the chance to be able to ask questions without feeling rushed and without feeling that there's large groups of people, so questions might not be able to be asked. We do ask that you are wearing a mask if you're able to, and we are going to ask for social distancing. And it's going to be a one-way system through. So we're going to enter through the hall doors where the students come in for assembly. They will know where that is. And then we're going to come out through the main doors out of the front of the school. I really would recommend that you are there for that, so that you've got everybody in one place to be able to ask the questions that you want to be able to ask. Read any prospectuses that get given out. Check the college's websites. Check the apprenticeships websites for the most up-to-date information. Check My Choice for information as well. Just basically get as much research done as possible so that people are fully informed in terms of the decisions that they're making. Attend all the open events that you can. The next slide has got the dates on for the ones that we've been made aware of. Obviously, with the situation that we're currently in, there may be some changes and there may be some more added in. People are just waiting to see what the circumstances are, but the next slide has that information. If you are considering apprenticeships, please do make sure that you visit CRC for their apprenticeships event, because they will be able to guide you with that process. You must be aware of the qualifications that you're going to need to get on into the college that people want to attend, and also the specific courses you need to you want to do. There is nothing worse than having the colleges or myself having to turn around and say, I'm really sorry, you can't do that course because you're not qualified. So please do make sure that you've done that research before you make your application. Personal statements, like I say, they're about a side of A4. So we will set a deadline for when we'd like those to be completed so that they can be checked by a range of different people. And talk about them at home. Talk about what can go into the personal statement. Talk about the options that are available to the students in terms of transport. Talk about the courses that are there. Don't have tunnel vision of, I only want to go to this sixth form college. I only want to do this type of vocational course. Have a look around, see what's out there. And make sure you're making a well-rounded decision. As I've said, going to be completing them in PSHE, Mentor Time, and at home. And we would ask that all the applications are in, whether they're to Cambridge colleges or ones in Bedfordshire, Hertfordshire, or further afield. We would like them all in by the 9th of December so that we can ensure that we know that the students have got something lined up for the following September. So these are the open evening dates that I'm currently aware of, but do keep checking the sixth form colleges websites for more details. The vast majority of these you may need to book, so do visit their websites to find out more information of what you will need to do to be able to attend those, to find out more and to be able to see what the colleges are like in person. Hopefully that covers a lot of the questions you may have about the college application process. There will be various bits that get put into the Year 11 Google Classroom, so I'd advise them to keep an eye out on that. But if you do have any queries about the college applications or you need any more information, I will be available at the evening on the 29th, but also please feel free to email me at the address there that is on your screen. Thank you for listening, and please let me know if you need any more information.